And welcome back to The Week in Review right here at KISS FM. I'm Bob Slade along with Judge Bob Pickett. The Cutman, Charles W. Etheridge III, has the week off, and we're also joined by the flame-throwing undercover brother, the one and only Mr. Peter Noel. No doubt about it. Right. Well, now put your lawmaker hat on, because here you are dealing with a case. This is interesting here, Peter. Cover of the Daily Challenge from Thursday says, "Prank gone wrong. Teen joke leads to felony charge." I'll read some of this for our listeners who have not may not know about this case. T Morton, 18 years of age, has admitted leaving a blow-up doll, sex toy, in a girl's bathroom at Rushville High School on May 31st. That's in Indiana. He now faces a misdemeanor charge of disorderly conduct and a more serious count of institutional criminal mischief, a felony that carries a potential sentence of 2 to 8 years. At the same time, we saw this this piece from the newspaper. We also got an email from a citizen journalist who actually found this story to be fascinating and said, "Look, we got to do something about this. This is crazy. What is going on?" And she is on the live line with us right now. Her name is Stang Brumfeld.
Hi there. Good morning.
Stang Brumfeld.
Well, good evening, actually.
Good evening. Yes, thank you very much for being on the broadcast. Thank you very kindly.
Thank you for having me.
How did this story catch your mind? You're from St. Louis, Missouri, right?
I am. I'm from St. Louis, and I was just browsing through some of the news articles of the day. It must have been around the 1st of June or so, and I ran across Tyel's article, and I read it. It didn't pass my smell test, so I got into it a little bit more, and the more I got into it, the worse it smelled. So here we are.
And so you decided to take up. Now, somebody else had also been involved in this case, right? Another citizen journalist.
Yes, I'm also working in conjunction with a group of college kids who are running the social media end of it, the Facebook and whatnot. Originally, I had reached out to some of my readers to write to the district attorney, Phil Cavanis, about this case, because it seemed like it was over-exaggerated.
Tell us what is he facing and for what, and describe to me the town in which this is happening. What's the racial composition of this place? Because some people are saying it has a lot to do with race.
There have been a lot of people that have said it was a race-based issue. The town is approximately between 96 and 98% Caucasian, and the rest would be considered, by census as, other African American, Latino, and so on. When I look at the demographics down there and I look at the issue in and of itself, I hesitate to base the whole thing on race because I don't know their history of senior pranks. I haven't run across anything that says that they've ever prosecuted before, either black kids or white kids. So from what I'm understanding, this is the first young person to be accused and charged in connection with the senior prank in Rushville. So what we've really been paying attention to have been the nature of the charges, what they're basing the charges on, and we've moved forward in that perspective.
So if you don't ascribe any racial motive to this, you think it might be some small-town lawyer, trying to make a name nationally for himself?
Actually, it's not the Rush County DA. I haven't quite figured his angle. What we have come up to the best of our ability through the nature of the incident is that there's egg on the face of the school and the superintendent and some other people, and we believe that Tyel is being scapegoated.
But what do you mean the egg on the face? In what way? Because all he did was blow up a doll and in the girl's bathroom. Why would this embarrass the school?
What happened, according to what I have in my documentation and what's been reported, is pool video camera caught a young man wearing a hooded sweatshirt coming into the school, going into with a package of some sort, going into the ladies' room and leaving without the package. So
they think it might have been terrorist related?
Initially. Now, through our further investigation, we find that he's seen going in at 7:06. He's seen leaving at 7:11. However, the school was not evacuated until 10 minutes after 8. Now, in the information, they state that they had, reason to believe that they had a security issue regarding an explosive device. But it leads us to question the exigency, because if they truly felt that there was an impending emergency and it was exigent circumstances, why are they waiting 59 minutes to clear out the school of any teachers and young people that had come in for the breakfast program?
I see what you're saying, where they have the egg on their face, yes.
Right. So what they're actually, in the state of Indiana, to be considered criminal mischief, it has to result in some sort of damages to the victim, in this case would be the school, of over $2,500. So what they have done is they have assessed an estimated value of the time that was spent by a superintendent, a principal, 2 assistant principals, 55 teachers, and 34 support staff, and they come up with a grand total of $8,131.50 based on an estimated amount of, in quotes, resources. So actually there's no tangible, per se, damages where there was any holes or physical damage or injury or anything like this, other than the fact that they're saying that they used $8,000 worth of resources.
Now, we are reading an AP piece that says the Rush County prosecutor, Philip Cavanis, told the AP that he doesn't intend to seek a prison term for Tyel. But
that's not the... I was going to say that's not the only issue. The issue is that if Tyel is to receive a felony on paper, then it reduces his chances of going to college. It hinders his chances for financial assistance in going to college. It terribly limits his employment options, even if he's allowed to go to college. Right. So in essence, a felony at any level in connection with this case is a life sentence for Tyel. So this is bigger than just 8 years.
No question about it. And all brought to you by President Bill Clinton, by the way, too. What's happening in terms of the community? Are the folks in the community rising up and protesting the manner in which this young man is being treated?
Since we have begun this effort, there has been a tremendous amount of community support and momentum. I think that when it was first reported back on the 1st and 2nd of June, it was reported through the media kind of like odd news, random news. It wasn't something that people really stopped and stepped back and took a look at and said, wait a minute, okay, wait, this is wrong. But now that it has captured the attention of people and it has gained some momentum, people are not comfortable with the felony charge. Everyone that I've spoken to, including the group I'm working with, understands that when you play a prank, you take a 50-50 chance of getting caught or getting away with it. If you get caught, you deal with the consequences. Well, Tyel has already spent 5 days in jail. When he was arrested, when he went to his preliminary hearing, they set his bond at $30,000. It actually took the family roughly about a week or so to raise the money in order to get him out. So he was not allowed to participate in his commencement activities. He spent the time in jail. I mean, at what point do we go from teaching a lesson or being a rehabilitative situation to being just purely punitive for no other apparent reason than to be punitive? What
about the school, I mean, the fellow students and people within Rushville itself? Do you see like this 96% white community, rallying behind saying, look, this is a kid who pulled a prank and you should just leave this alone? I mean, do you have that type of sentiment being expressed?
I think what we have run into is, instead of it being a race-based sentiment, it's been an age-based sentiment.
No, I was talking about pretty much race, but in terms of support. You only mentioned the fact that... Yeah.
That's what I'm saying in terms of Rushville itself. A lot of the students that we've been able to connect with and the younger people that we've been able to connect with are going, okay, this is blown out of proportion, this is crazy.
All right. Yeah.
Some of the older citizens have taken the position, these kids have to be taught a lesson. So there's the split versus it being an ethnic split. We're finding it to be a demographic split.
A class split, right?
Quite frankly, I see indeed, to come back to your whole thing, egg on the face of the school administrators who indeed were tardy. If indeed this was a terrorist, it was a Columbine situation, these kids would have been dead in the school, and then they did not act appropriately on time. So they are pretty much trying to hide the fact that they didn't respond in time.
Correct, and I think they're passing some share of liability onto the county so they can remove it from themselves.
Right.
How can we stay in touch with you? How can the listeners follow you, Stang? What do they have to do? You have a website or what?
We do. It is free Tyel Morton, and that's TYELLMORTON.org. We publish regular updates if we're going to be reaching out to people, like we reached out to the school district. So Tyel now has his diploma, which they hadn't sent to him until Thursday. So we reach out to people. We keep in touch. We try to do as many interviews as we possibly can to make the community aware of Tyel's situation, and then we update that on the website. There's also a guest book on the website that Tyel and his family have access to, so people who are wanting to support can do that, or there's they can donate to his defense fund, and there's also a list of resources of people who can be called or written in support of Tyel.
Okay, so it's freetyelmorton.org.
Yes.
That's TYELL Morton, MORTON.org.
Yes.
All right, citizen journalist Stang Brumfeld, thank you very much.
Yeah, good for you.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Keep up the good work, all right?
Thank you.
And stay in touch. We'd like to talk to you further, okay?
Absolutely. I will put you on the email, and I will let you know when anything happens.
Okay, very good. And let's hope this mom is scared to death. I know mom is really frightened about what's going to happen to him. But
so's Dad and his aunt. His whole family is really supportive of Tyel.
Okay, very good. All right, thank you very much. That is our broadcast, gentlemen. Thank you, the panel. Let's wrap it up. Our producers, Robin Williams and Andrew Veras. Shouts to Nitha Khan, who is keeping papers and books on us all. Also, Paulie Paul Eliason, Cool Clyde, Cool DJ, Clyde. Oh, boy, kill me. I'm messing up his name. DJ Cool Clyde. That's all right. It's a long day. It's been a long day, I'm telling you. Anyway, I'm Bob Slade. You have a great week ahead. You're listening to 98.7 KISS, WRKSFM New York. Have a good night now. Bye-bye.